So today, let me tell you what I did wrong in my last relationship. Hey yo, I'm DT and y'all the fam, and this is Fam Talk. So we came here to do what? Talk. So let's talk about it. In today's episode, get the lighting together. We typically gotta get the focus, but we're using the cell phone, so we're gonna get the lighting together. But today's episode, let me tell you one of the biggest mistakes I made in my past relationship. So I'm a very self-actualized person. I think about mistakes and how I can be better. I think about how I can maneuver better. I get in a lot of debates, a lot of disagreements, a lot of arguments, and whenever I discuss or I have an intense conversation with somebody, I always go back and look at what I said and look at, okay, was I right? Was I wrong? Could I have said this better? Could I have done this better? I always see how I can better myself. I strive to be better every day. That is my personal goal. That's something I sit and do. And I don't want to make the same mistakes that I made in my last relationship. And so, because I took the time to look at it from her perspective. Initially during the breakup, I'm focused on me because I'm hurting, but I'm not looking at it from her perspective. And so, years later, I take the time to really sit down and think. And I went through the process, but of course, Fam Talk. If I got the information, I gotta give you the information. We gotta talk about it. So we're gonna talk about it. Because there's a couple things that she said that I did not understand. I thought we were good. But when I go back and I look at it, we weren't. And I can understand from her perspective why we weren't. And before things got chaotic, she wanted to sit down and talk to me. Before we engaged in the relationship, we sat down and we talked about what we expected from each other. Hey, I expect marriage within this time. Hey, as long as you do this, I'm good. What do you like? I like this. We really discussed what we wanted from each other. And so she was always straightforward with me, and she had an issue, she would tell me. If I had an issue, I would tell her. Like, there was rumors, it was like a friend of mine told me, like, yo, your girl is hanging out with so-and-so and doing this and doing this. I pulled to the side and said, look, I'm gonna give you an opportunity to be honest. If you're honest with me right now, I'll let it go. We move forward. Boom. Are you hanging out with so-and-so? Is this what's going on? Because if you tell me no, cool, I'm going to believe you. But if I find out you're lying, I'm going to break up with you and we're never getting back together because I gave you an opportunity to come forward. Because you hanging out with another guy is not necessarily cheating because you're not sleeping with him. But it gives the appearance of that. And I don't mind for you to hang out with different people because I trust you, but at least let me know. And that's just not controlling, that's just as in being respectful in the relationship. Because like I said, a close friend of mine, hey yo, your girl is blase blase whoop de whoop de whoop, blase whoop de whoop de whoop. So if she said, hey look, I'm hanging out with so and so, okay, better. Oh well, your girl, I know. You cool with that? Yeah, I'm good. It is what it is. So we always talked to each other. And so she got to the point where things was kind of chaotic and I didn't know, because I'm so focused on trying to fix everything and build everything, I ignored her silent cries. Charlene Anthony Hamilton, I gave her this, but I ignored the silent things. And so when you're in a relationship, what is very important to your partner, I recommend it be important to you. Everything about your partner should not be important. But if your partner says that this is very important to me, you should be alert. And I wasn't alert. She was trying to sit down and have a conversation. And I was like, no, we're good. In reality, we were not. And I got mad at her. I'm like, well, you believe this and you believe this and you believe this and you believe this, because During the breakup, everybody's going to her saying, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this. There was a couple lies. And so I'll tell you the craziness that happened. My mom's house got shot up. I got fired from 2 different jobs. We had a miscarriage. So, like, her auntie was a police officer. So, because when they heard that the house got shot up, her, like, of course she told her dad, and her auntie found out. So she go back and do research, trying to find out. It looks up that, oh, I'm a felon. Like, so she telling her auntie, telling her, oh, he's a felon, he's this, and stuff like that. And it's not the fact I'm a felon. I'm a third degree. I have a 3rd degree misdemeanor, but it's listed also as a 5th degree felony. So that's one of the reasons I can't work for a bank, because even though it's a misdemeanor, if you dig deep enough, it's also called a 5th degree felony. And I'll probably tell y'all what happened one of these days about that. So she's hearing that, oh, he's a felon. He's like, I'm gang related. I'm not gonna tell you what gang I'm related to, but I'm gang related. So, like, they found that out. So her folks is telling her, hey, he's this, he's dangerous. And she's trying to sit down and talk to me, saying that, hey, I'm hearing all this stuff. I'm doing all this stuff. Like, we need to talk. Also, because we had a miscarriage. So she's at work trying to deal with that, and she wants to talk to me about it, but I'm not making time to sit down and talk to her about it, because I think everything's good. Because everything's good on my end, but I did not check on her end. I was being very, very selfish and inconsiderate, because I did not take her feelings in consideration. Now, take note, remember, house got shot up. I got fired from 2 different jobs, and it weren't my fault. And then we had a miscarriage. I am torn up. I am broken. I am falling, and I'm just trying to grab onto anything. Because a man's priority is to make sure that his family, who he's with, everything is taken care of. And I get the plate I had, but I could have sat and stopped and had a conversation with her. And I could have comforted her a little bit better. So I'm not shaming myself and discrediting myself, because I did what I could do with the information. However, I could have handled it better, way better. And if we could have sat and we would have talked, I could have figured out what her issues were. And if we did choose to break up, the breakup would have been way smoother, versus as in everything collapsing like it did. But I was always taught, you start at the root of the problem, you nip it at the bud. If I would have sat down and had the conversation before, because things it snowballed. This happened, and this happened, and this happened, and then this happened. It snowballed. If I would have caught it right here, I wouldn't have to worry about it when it was this big. So, I think the biggest mistake I made in my last relationship was not paying attention to her in that detail. And so now I've learned that's one of the reasons I study body language. I learned how to read between the lines. I do all that stuff. Because sometimes, a lot of times this, men typically normally speak covertly. No, we speak overtly. We speak overtly. Say what you mean what you say. Women speak covertly, meaning that they speak subliminally. A lot of times, a woman would not come to you and directly say, this is what's going on. Because it's hard for her, to kind of explain her feelings. I understand it, because if my mind is rushing 1,000 miles per hour, it's hard for me to articulate that what's going on, because my mind is running. So, because I'm overthinking. The female equivalent to that is a woman. Emotions it's kind of hard to process and just put it out. And it's crazy, because we've had worse and harder. We had more difficult discussions than that. Because, I don't know how, but somebody at the job lied and said, oh, he got fired over this. He was doing this. I didn't know none of this stuff was going on. And she's instead of her saying that, hey, I need to talk to you about this, she was like, we need to talk. And I did not understand it until really recently. Because I analyzed everything else in the relationship. I was like, oh, okay, I get this, I get this, I get this, I get this, I get this. And it was like, oh, shoot. Boom. And of course, we're talking about it because I want y'all to learn from my past mistakes. Like, I want y'all to be better than me. That's the whole purpose of Fam Talk, is really to give you my life experiences, and hopefully you can capitalize on it and be better. I'm not saying to cater to everything, because it is impossible to cater to every possible feeling and need of your spouse, of your partner, whoever you're with. But it's understanding what's super important to them. That's the reason why when we did break up, it was so chaotic. It was super chaotic because it just exploded at one time. And I hold myself at fault of that. Because she came to me and was like, yo, we need to talk. And I told her, no, we don't. We're good. I did that. Who am I to tell another person you're good? I understand it. So, but that's one of the biggest mistakes. And I use that as an example because also I've done that in previous relationships before her. I'm just using this particular relationship as the catalyst, like, to explain it, but I've done that in other situations with other women, not paying attention. That's the reason I've taken the time to understand women, understand the thought process. I understand men because I sold to men. I worked for Men's Warehouse for 6 years. I sold cars for like 2. So I had to understand how men think so I can sell to men. Now I understand how women think so I can just engage in any type of relationship, whether it's friendship or actual genuine like romantic relationship. I understand. And so I'm able to maneuver through that way better now. So, but because for a while I always blamed everything on her. And it wasn't her. I mean, she told me, she was like, hey, I have this issue, this issue, this issue. This is who I am. And I was like, I accept you in all your craziness. That's the reason sometimes, I'll be honest, a part of me questioned that relationship, not for her, because I feel like I messed up. That I messed up. That I could have controlled it. I could have bettered the situation. And to be honest, when I really look at it, I could have. If I would understand the mindset I have now as a man, as in like, that's why I say this. My confidence is really found in my ability to overcome my situations. There's nothing you can place in front of me that I cannot deal with, that I cannot overcome. Like, I'm looking at, oh my God, this stuff happened. I've been sued and on trial at the exact same time. Been in a situation where I was being garnished. My check was $55, and I gotta sit and explain my PO why I don't have the money to pay her, so I don't get locked up. I'm in Birmingham, and I gotta figure out how to get to Huntsville without a car. From not having a place, like from moving from couch searching, from not having a car and having to rent a car to get back and forth to work, to living in the hotels. I've been through way worse situations. So when I go back and I look at that, I was like, that was really easy to handle. But my mindset at the time was that of a man. There was a lot of things that I was speaking in a future video that I just did not know and did not understand. Like, the biggest fallacy that I've ever believed in is that behind a strong man is a strong woman. Now, when I say that, I'm saying this from this perspective. On a mental and emotional level, yes, that woman can be there for support, but on a physical level, no. Pressure was built for shoulders. Y'all see how broad my shoulders is? Y'all see how big my chest is? Pressure was built for shoulders, not hips. I relied on her to help fix me. And that is a pressure that she could not handle because that's not her responsibility. The order is God, man, woman, and the child. The child depends on the woman depends on the man depends on God. If my relationship with God was stronger and better, I would have fell back on God like, yo, what up, what I need to do? Oh, I got you, do this, and I would have took care of it, I would have handled it, but I did not do that. I put the responsibility of God on a woman and then got mad at her when she could not handle it. I remember she told me, she said, she was like, she did not feel wanted or desired by me. And I'm like, I'm giving you dick. I'm buying you what you want. I'm spending all this time with you. But I didn't understand how energy transferred. I just recently had a conversation with a young lady about sex. It's like deep, intentional strokes. Intentional. Like, you have to be present. And even though we did those activities, because I'm so thinking about trying to make sure everything good, I lost that ability to just enjoy her presence and allow her to enjoy mine. I didn't understand the transfer of energy. I didn't know. So initially when we broke up, she was like, well, I didn't feel this. Like, I did this, I did this, I did this, I did this, I did this. Why didn't you? Me dealing with way multiple more women, I understand that a woman can feel your energy. She can feel if you're there. She can feel if you're present. She can feel that if you're actually she feels it. I didn't understand that. And then I got mad at her because I'm taking like she's being ungrateful, and it wasn't that right there. But I go back and I look at how young we were. I was only, she was 24, I was 27? The very first time I actually took somebody serious who I wanted to marry, I did not understand these things because I was raised a certain way and I thought a certain way. And it wasn't until I had my stroke and I restarted and the palate was cleaned and I began to have male mentors and be around more men, and I started to look at like the things that my father told me and my uncles and other people was telling me. It was like, oh, this is how a man is supposed to move. Pressure is built for shoulders, not hips. Pray, talk to God, ask God for a vision, ask God for a plan, and pew, go, and you got it. That's why I'm so arrogant and I'm so cocky now. Cause ain't shit can fuck with me. Excuse the cussing. But it can't. Cause I know where my help comes from. I know where my vision comes from. I understand where my purpose comes from. And like I said, a part of me it hunts me a little bit because I think that I wasted her time a little bit. Hopefully I articulated it correctly. Hopefully it doesn't come across like I'm hurt or I'm bad. It's just, no, I've really thought it out and I looked at it. And if I could, I would love to have a conversation with her to apologize and say, hey, if we have that, cool. If we don't, we don't. But it's not about that. It's about giving a message and helping, like taking what I've been through and giving it out to other people so they can do better and they can be better. That's the goal. That's the purpose of these fam talks. To get it off my chest. Also, look, y'all see the drip? Birmingham, never home but always repping. Birmingham, shout out to the kid Louis Hatchet. Look, if y'all want some of the merch, you know what I'm talking about, y'all want to represent the city, hit my mans up and he'll look out for you. And just in case, so, hold on. We got the variety pack, you know what I'm talking about? We got the variety pack, you know what I'm talking about? What color you need, what you need, man. What you need, we got variety in this big club. Talking about. His information will be in the bio, whatever. And so, all those aside, I love you guys. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe, and let me know what y'all want me to talk about too. So until next time, peace.